like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Hi, I'm John Mallison. Welcome back to this edition of Connect with Me, live on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this Wednesday morning. Today it's your community. We're talking about Huntington Boulevard and a special calendar. We all know about the houses and the history of the trees and the upgrades and the historical value, of course, being a landmark. Huntington Boulevard, that 1 mile stretch. 436 MeTV option 11 is the phone number. And we're back here on a Wednesday morning on the showroom floor at Ventura TV. Of course, connect with me on MeTV Fresno, Comcast Channel 187, 43.6, 436 MeTV option 11, of course, is the number. And today we're talking to one of our favorite people here of all time, one of our all-time favorite guests, Penny Raven of the Huntington Boulevard Historical Association. And, you know, every time I drive by Huntington Boulevard, I want to take a walk down that 1 mile historical stretch. And now that the weather is cooling off, you know, I want to do that plus play a tackle football game. Doesn't have to be Thanksgiving Day. Let's go to the videotape and I'll show you what I'm talking about. The trees. Not long ago, Penny was here talking about the 100th anniversary of those trees. There's so many different kinds of trees along Huntington Boulevard. It is amazing. And how about the houses? They're almost as old. They're about 99 years old. The first house built there about 1913, 1914. Some big Hollywood stars have actually visited Huntington Boulevard and those houses. Ed Asner, Jane Mansfield a long time ago, Henry Winkler, William Shatner, of course, a big famous movie star himself, presidents who have visited along Huntington Boulevard, and some have even stayed in some of those houses. JFK, Nixon, Johnson, FDR. Why am I talking about Huntington Boulevard this Wednesday morning? It's because of this, the calendar. It is a calendar that's going to come out in 2014, not printed yet. You're looking at last year's version of the Huntington Boulevard calendar. And so what goes on here? They pick 12 houses. Obviously, there are 12 months in a year. 12 months, 12 houses, 12 stories about those houses. And by the way, you can buy a sponsorship. We'll give you the phone number later in the program to put a message on that calendar. Live in our studio right now is one of our favorite all-time guests right here on Connect with Me. She is Penny Raven. She is from the Huntington Boulevard Historical Association, ready and willing to take your phone calls at 436 MeTV option 11. We're going to be back with our guest, our special guest, and a special calendar. It's an incredible calendar, beautiful, in just a moment.
Now, why don't you tell us the whole story right from the beginning? All right, from the beginning. This is the city, Los Angeles, California. My name's Friday. I carry a badge. Police officers.
You any idea who the other man was?
My partner's Bill Gannon.
Program?
We got just one big question.
Yeah.
When?
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Back here with the program talking about the calendar, the Huntington Boulevard calendar, that is. And of course, that is going to be coming out very shortly. They're going to start printing it for next year, 2014. Penny Raven is here from the Huntington Boulevard Association. How are you?
Just fine, John. What a delight to be here with you this morning. Thanks.
Hey, it's good to see you too. So what about this calendar? And I've got it here in my hands. You can see it. It's called Huntington Boulevard Historical Homes. 12 months in the year, 12 homes, 12 stories, right?
Yes, that is actually absolutely correct. We do also have sketches, though. We have our first sketch, January, is traditionally the Huntington Boulevard Monument to set the tone for the entire calendar.
All right, let's put the calendar back up on the screen so we can see it one more time. That's it. Okay. So these are not pictures of the homes, they're actual sketches of the homes.
Yes.
Sketched by who?
Doug Hansen, who is a former renowned Fresno Bee artist and now is a full professor in the art department at Fresno State.
Okay, so we've got 12. How do you pick the homes? Because how many homes are along that 1 mile stretch?
There are 121 houses in Huntington, and we have a criteria. We want to represent homes from one end of the street to the other. We want to do a mixture of 1-story and 2-story. We pay tribute to our elder residents so that their home does appear on the calendar in different years. And we also go by styles. We try to vary the styles of the homes.
So you won't have the same homes next year for the calendar as you had this year, right?
No.
They'll be different.
Yes, and this is our, the 2014 will be our 23rd year of calendars for Huntington Boulevard.
Wow.
And what we're doing now, in order to finance the calendar, we are accepting messages or logos or business advertisements from people to be on the calendar. And if you're on a calendar spot, which is like where the numbers on the calendar are, the smaller squares, there are 35 of those that are available. And for $100, a person may place their message in a date square, and then in addition to that, they will receive a gift of 20 of the Huntington Boulevard calendars, which are valued at $7 each. So they get $140 in calendars as a bonus with their message that they have paid $100 for. And if they wish to do a message at the top of the page next to the name of the month in like a 3-inch space, then that's $200. And they will then for that they receive 50 calendars, which is a $350 gift.
I see. So with each home, obviously there's a story about that home.
Right. It's there's a story
at the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
that's the history of the house and the style of the house.
Yeah, and the history a little bit about how it when it was built, who stayed there.
Yes.
All that kind of stuff, all that historical.
Good news.
Good news is what it is. And so within each square, which obviously represents each day of the month, let me hold that up right there, you can put a message.
Yes, you'll see.
For how
here.
much?
Okay, see.
Like if I wanted to put a message here on September the 18th, which is, I believe.
You have to be in a vacant square. See,
right.
Okay, see, so like here where Ventura TV is.
Right.
Okay, then that is one of the
Oh, it can't be within one of the dates. It has got to be in a vacant square.
Right.
Gotcha.
And where the dates are, where there's information written, that is interesting things that have happened in days gone by on Huntington Boulevard. Everything from when the cows ate in the median to when the presidents have visited.
Okay, so we have a lot of information here, and now that the weather is getting a lot better, people can walk that 1 mile stretch.
And see our new tree signs, our new tree identification
Right, we're going to be
signs.
talking about that and see all the trees that turned 100. You were on the show a couple of months ago talking about that.
Yes.
And obviously the beautiful homes, you're getting ready for Christmas. I know a lot of people, you don't have the official decorations like you used to.
Correct.
But homeowners
yes.
decorate individually.
Still show their spirit.
They still show their spirit to a certain extent. Okay, so the calendar costs what, $7?
Yes.
And how much does it cost to print? Usually, I mean, how many do you print?
How many do we print? We print almost 2,000.
Almost 2,000. So can it get a little bit costly? A little bit?
Oh yes, it becomes very expensive to print it. That is why when there were not enough funds in the Treasury to print it last year, we went with the idea of doing the messages, which you can see on here how that works. So that was what allowed us to print the calendar last year, and we want to do it this year. And anyone who wants to put a message on can call 486-1710 and find out lots more about it.
Say that again, slower.
Okay, 486-1710.
Okay, so for the month of May this year, I see the name of Jerry Dyer on there, the police chief.
We honored him with that.
Oh, you honored him with that. that. Okay. See if there are any other messages on here that I can see. Well, there's Home Depot on here, the Raven Company. So you can buy a little sponsorship.
And MeTV, you might want to
MeTV
show
is
that.
on here on March 2013. There's a little so if you wanted to buy a sponsorship for the calendar, you can.
Yes, $100 is for a spot on the date sides, and that your gift is 20 calendars, which is $140 value. And if you do one of the larger ones on the top by the name of the month, that's $200, and you receive 50 calendars, which is a $350 value.
Right.
So it's a great thing. And then you have something special to give to your friends, your family, your business associates, your clients, special people.
And I want to go to the videotape. I want to show the yard sale that took place this past weekend, a big yard sale, right?
Yes.
This was the Huntington Boulevard scene this past weekend. That's the infamous sign right there, and a sign on top of that. So what was this all? Just a typical yard sale?
Yeah, well, it's a mile-long yard sale.
Okay.
And we have 121 houses, and this year I would say that at least 90 of them had sales on their front yards. Many of them are the homeowners, and then the homeowners
Sales
also
on like what, clothing?
Yes, it's just
shoes,
a typical yard sale.
Household items.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And then if whatever the person wishes to sell, that's a legal item they're allowed to sell. And then many of the homeowners.
What do you mean? Some try to sell illegal items?
Well,
No,
I
I'm
have
kidding.
no idea
I'm kidding.
that they
No,
would,
no,
but I
no.
wanted your
doubt it.
viewers to know they
Right.
didn't. And then there are many people let others use their front yards. For example, a church will be there with their items to sell, or a Boy Scout troop, or a high school band. And then some people do have friends who are vendors, and so they come and they have their shaved ice or their tacos, or
Right.
some people eat their way through the yard sale. They buy an enchilada in one block, and the next
So you
block
have
they get
snacks,
their
refreshments.
Yes.
You can eat lunch there.
Yes.
And so this was a big deal over the weekend.
Yes,
Was it a 2-day event or
No,
one?
it's just one day, and we get probably 7,000 or 8,000 people who attend. And
Wow.
yes, and now the neighboring streets have found that it is a good day to do their events as well. So both Kirchhoff and Balch have many families who decide to have their yard sale on the same day.
Great. Okay, we're talking with Penny Raven. She's from the Huntington Boulevard Historical Association. 436 MeTV, option 11, if you want to join the program. Back in just a moment.
From the pages of history and the untamed prairies of a young nation comes one of television's and America's most memorable folk heroes.
Was a man, yes, a big man.
Well, you're Daniel Boone.
Yep. Fess Parker stars as the legendary Daniel Boone, with Ed Ames as his trusty sidekick, Mingo.
Pleasure indeed.
A Kentuckian named Daniel Boone.
That's me.
Watch Daniel Boone weekday mornings at 9, 8 Central on MeTV.
Back here talking about Huntington Boulevard, it's a mile stretch. You've got trees, you've got homes. Every time I look at that infield, and I call it the infield, I just want to go there and play a tackle football game. I don't care if it's Thanksgiving or not. It really is a great place to walk and just look around. And now that the weather is getting cooler, you've got to get out there and do that. And Penny Raven, of course, is here. I want to show some photos of the tree plaques. All right, we already talked about the trees being, they're 100 years old. They're older than all of us. There up on the monitor is one of the plaques. Now, does each tree have a plaque?
No, there are 284 trees, and we have with 21 different varieties, and we have plaques on 63 of the trees, and they identify 18 different varieties of the trees.
How many different types of trees?
21.
21. And can you name a few of them?
Sure. We have palms, camphors, oleanders, silver oak, red cedar, Canary Island pine, eucalyptus.
Wow.
Yes.
Amazing. Amazing. And I think I may have asked you this before on the other show, but is it difficult to maintain those trees, to make sure that they're healthy, that nothing happens to them? They've been there for a century, of course, but...
Well, the residents are responsible for the day-to-day care of them, and then the city has the overall responsibility because they are city
trim
property.
The trees. The city trims the trees.
Yes, they do. And if they get diseased or have any kind of problem, then the city steps in and takes care of that. So it's wonderful for us.
Right. Well, Huntington Boulevard is a very historical place. Let me ask you something before we get into some other photos, and that is the city of Fresno. What are they doing primarily to try to preserve this 1 mile stretch, in your opinion?
The city is marvelous. I mean, they come and they, mow our median once a week, take good care of it. We have
the infield?
Yes, the infield. Our infield median, yes, keeping it primed for touch football games.
I thought it was tackle football.
Oh, tackle football. Oh my, you're very progressive here. Okay, and then they also maintain our street signs, and when things happen, like if the curb or gutter gets damaged in some way, they replace that for us. They maintain the sprinkler system, which is very important to keep the medians green. They helped us when we got ready to repaint all of the
City cuts the lawn there, you said, right?
Yes, they do.
Cut that. They're responsible for cutting the lawn.
Yes, they
okay.
are.
Okay, go ahead.
And they do send the street sweeper once a month or more. If we're having events, they're very good about that, making us be ready for company. I always say that they take care of it. So the city has been a wonderful partner to the Huntington Boulevard Association. They want us to look good.
Okay. Now, you've had Congressman Jim Costa there. You've had City Council member Sal Quintero. Let's put a couple of those photos up so we can see what we're talking about here. And that's Jim Costa. And when was this picture taken? During what ceremony?
This would have been on August 20th when we had the centennial celebration of the trees. And we received a congressional certificate of appreciation from Congressman Costa. And we also received a proclamation from our city council member, Sal Quintero. And then, as a special little surprise, Congressman from Los Angeles, Javier Becerra, was also there and he spoke as well. So there's one picture that has me and the two congressmen.
Yeah, you mean right up there.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right, go ahead. Do we have a phone call?
We got a phone call if you want to take it.
Okay,
here we go.
We'll go tell you later.
All right, as we look at the photo there of, or we had it there anyway. Good morning, you're on Connect with Me. Your question.
My question is, it's such a landmark and such a resource for the Fresno area. Why aren't there more community events held there? We've got community events at Woodward Park, at Road Park, Kearney Park. Why doesn't the community take more advantage of that beautiful green strip that runs down the middle for a mile? Why don't we have like a Renaissance Fair or some other event aside from the mile-long swap meet? Great event, but seems like it's underused. Why is that? I'm asking your guest.
That's a good question. It is underused.
I like hearing about that. There are many things that happen on Huntington Boulevard that really don't receive any publicity. We have many of the runs, the cross-city runs and things. We get thousands of people who, enjoy those and come down Huntington Boulevard. We also have many bicycle races that are on the street. As far as events, it would really be up to the city, because that is all city property, for them to do anything. And at this point, they haven't asked us to do anything.
Yeah. So, well then, let me ask you this. The events that are taking place there, why isn't there more publicity?
For the events that are taking, the cross-city, usually...
Like when you have an event there, like this past weekend, there was a big yard sale. Okay, no publicity on that. Why?
There was some advanced publicity on it, and there was...
Very little,
yes,
right? Very little. Yes. Why isn't there more to get the word out?
Well, when we have 7,000 people, they consider that about as successful as that event can handle.
What did you have? You had about 7,000. Well, that's quite a few. So you couldn't handle any more than that, huh?
I don't think so, because we don't have the parking. They can only park along the street.
So
we don't
if
have any big...
20,000 showed up, it'd be overflow. You couldn't handle it.
It'd be they'd be parking blocks and blocks away, for one thing.
They might be parking here at Ventura TV. Who knows?
Yes, right.
Anyway, we got more photos to show here.
Thank
Sal Quintero, of course, he's a city councilman, represents this area, and there is Sal
District
there.
5.
Of course, at the same ceremony, I would assume.
Yes. All the photos that you're seeing, I believe, were all from the ceremony. And the reason that Congressman Becerra from Los Angeles was here is because he was here to celebrate a birthday. His mother-in-law is Bernie Reyes, who turned 90 on the day of our tree celebration.
Holy cow.
Yes, and so there's the picture with she and the hometown buffet, Clovis B, which is the hometown buffet's little symbol, and mascot, and so they also came and they brought cotton candy and cookies for our event, which made it fun for everyone.
You're talking about that photo there?
Yes. So that's Mrs. Reyes on her 90th birthday with the hometown bee, and Jim Costa has been a longtime friend of Congressman Becerra. They served in the Assembly together first many years ago, and so Jim led us all in singing Happy Birthday, an impromptu song for Mrs. Reyes, which was a special touch.
Wow, that's pretty amazing stuff. And I want to show one more photo here before we go to break, and it is of the band. Have you got the picture of the band? There's the band right there. Hey, that's not the band that played on the Titanic, was it? Look at that. It kind of looks like it, huh? A little bit.
Dixieland band that was organized for us by Randy Morris, who's the saxophone player.
That's a good-looking band right there.
Thank
Boy,
you.
were they out there playing all day?
Yes.
They were?
Well, all morning for the ceremony.
All morning for the ceremony.
And we had antique cars. We had 4 antique cars, 1920s. And we also had the city motorized trolley, which took people for rides up and down the street.
We'll talk about that on the other side of the break, okay? Because we got some more photos to show. And we're going to take a break here on Connect with Me, 436 MeTV, option 11, if you want to join the conversation. We're back in just a moment with Penny Raven.
When you're looking for KitchenAid innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, will help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified KitchenAid appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
All right, what haven't we shown? Let's put up the photos of what we haven't seen yet. And I believe at the, now what is this, Penny, we're looking at right here?
That's the proclamation from Sal Quintero.
Okay, that is the proclamation. Okay, we'll get off of that and show another photo. This one here
is Jim Costa's certificate to us.
Certificate from Congress. And so another photo of the classic cars, maybe? We got that photo there? There are some of the classic cars. Now, what 2 cars are we looking at there? And in front of what home?
That's our house, my house.
Okay, your house.
Okay. Oh, I didn't bring the list with what it is.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
That's okay. But
they are members of the Roaring 20 Car Club.
Right. And obviously 2 beautiful cars right there, and look like in pretty good shape despite the fact they're like, 90 years old.
Yeah, 1922.
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty neat stuff.
The back one they call a taxi cab, but to me it looks more like a delivery truck.
Yeah. Could be either or. There's no question about it. And so this was during the tree ceremony,
yes,
right?
and can you see the city trolley? The green in the background is the city trolley.
Right.
Which people love because it was a warm morning and the trolley was air conditioned.
Why is it important for people to know about Huntington Boulevard?
Because in order to live your life fully and know how to go ahead, you need to know what's happened in the past.
Yeah. And was I correct in saying that all these presidents stayed in some of these houses?
I think so.
JFK,
yes,
FDR, Nixon, President Johnson here.
Yes. He might have only been just to visit. But we've had 7 presidents.
7 presidents in all to stay here, but that's okay. If you don't have it handy, not a problem. But you've had numerous Hollywood stars as well.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not stay in the homes, but for certain visit the homes. Okay. Yeah, not a problem.
Nixon, Kennedy, Hoover, Roosevelt.
We'll have to talk into the mic, Penny.
Oh, are we on? Sorry.
Yeah, we're still on.
Okay, good. We've had.
We're on the air, Penny.
Okay, good. Nixon, Kennedy, Hoover, Franklin, Governor Brown, Patrick Leahy, and we've had many lieutenant governors.
Okay.
At our, I didn't realize they were. Oh, that's fun.
I'm teasing you.
Oh, good.
I'm teasing. But we've had a lot of presidents. And what about the Hollywood stars?
Okay. Yes.
Go ahead. I don't mean. I'm gonna start laughing. I won't be able to stop here. Go ahead. You've got Hollywood stars that have actually stayed here too.
Yes, and those are on the back page of the calendar.
Oh, the back page of the calendar. We've got a call coming in.
Okay.
A lot of them. Yeah, I'm going to take the call here. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. What's your question? Hello?
Yes, I'm just hello?
Yeah, what's your question for Penny? You got a question?
Yeah, my question is, they put those pieces of metal on the trees of how old they are, who sponsored them and stuff.
Yeah.
What are those plaques made of?
Well,
What are those plaques made of?
those plaques are made of Well, that's a good
aluminum,
question.
If they're made of aluminum, you know them homeless are going to try to take them off.
Thank you for your concern. What they are made of, and that was considered when we chose the method of the material. And what they're made of is a double-faced acrylic, so that it is a black acrylic that is bonded to the gold acrylic, which is really like a plastic material. And the
Excuse me 1 second, Pam. Can we put a picture up of the plaque while you're talking about it? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And the advantage of that is the first layer of the acrylic, the gold, has a laser cutout to the back layer, which is black. So even though something is, if they would unfortunately have something happen like spray paint over the front of them, it could be removed and wouldn't damage the plaque whatsoever. And the plaques are fixed was suggested by the park supervisor, Hillary Kimber, from the city of Fresno, because these are City of Fresno trees. The plaques are attached with 2 nails, which are special ones with decorated heads so that they match the gold of the plaques, and they do not cause any trauma to the tree. Cutting a limb in a tree is far more traumatizing to a tree than putting in a small nail in something that's this large.
Well, we don't need people calling up giving other people ideas on what to do.
They know that it won't do them any good now, so that was...
I know. I mean, I thought of the same thing, but I didn't bring it up because why give somebody the idea to do any kind of, destruction or anything
vandalism.
Stupid. Yeah, vandalism. We don't want to see that. I mean, those trees have been there longer than we've been here.
That's right.
We need to take care of them, make sure they're healthy and sturdy, and so that they last another 100 or 200 years. There's no question about it. And so, but we need to preserve the whole area, and I wish that there were more events there because it is a beautiful area. And you're doing such a great job with this whole association. And is Huntington Boulevard a national or a state landmark, or both?
It isn't either one.
Either one. Should it be?
There's a chance that it will become. There are some rules that we have to decide if the residents wish to abide by before they will have that declared.
Yeah, that's great. And as far as events are concerned, do you pre-plan these events in advance of like you had the yard sale this past weekend? How far in advance was that planned?
Oh, that's been an annual event since I think 1987.
Okay.
We've been having yard sales for many, many years.
So whatever event is planned there, it's planned well in advance. You have advance notice on what's going on. Yeah, I just love that area. And now that it's getting cooler, you can walk that area. And you can walk it at night and be safe. That's the whole idea.
We have all of our street lights.
Right. Okay, any more photos that we can put up there that we haven't seen yet? I think we have one more. Don't we have the Bumblebee? We ran that? Show that again.
Hometown Buffet Bee?
Yeah, the Hometown Buffet Bee. I like that. That's the bee, the Bumblebee. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, that's the Hometown Buffet Bee. And he was brought to us by David Morales, who is the kitchen manager for the Clovis Hometown Buffet. And then, as I said, they brought us cookies to share with the event to go with our old-fashioned strawberry lemonade, and a fellow that made cotton candy, which was a real hit.
You brought me some cookies, too.
Yes, I did.
So I can give to my kids. I appreciate that very much.
You're welcome.
Giving you a hard time here. But the significance of this calendar is to promote, and the name of the person who does the artwork again is
Doug Hansen.
Doug Hansen. Great guy. He does fantastic work.
Perhaps we can have him be a guest.
We'd like to have him as a guest here sometime. And another phone call coming in before we go. We only got about a minute left. Let's take it real quick. Good morning. On Connect with Me. Question quickly. Almost out of time.
Yes, for Mrs. Raven. The house at Huntington and 6th had some major renovations. It was on the market for a long time. What's the status of that house? That's got to be a landmark house. I know it's got some kind of historical significance, and it's a beautiful, beautiful double lot and just a huge mansion, and all of Fresno should be proud of it. What's the status on that, Mrs. Raven?
The status is, you'll be happy to learn, was purchased in April by a couple who are both doctors, the man and the lady. They are doctors at Valley Children's Hospital. They love the house. It is the original Washon house and was built in 1917, and they are doing marvelous things to restore it, and so we're just delighted to have them. They're great new neighbors.
One more time, if people want to get involved in this calendar, calendar.
Yes, to place their message.
Phone number
is 486-1710.
And I promised you could say it 3 times, so one more time.
Okay, 486-1710. Now's your chance because October 15th is the deadline.
I know. Hold that calendar up. It's a beautiful calendar. Look at that. I don't mean to cover, but I mean it's just you open it up and look at how gorgeous it is. It's just absolutely, the artwork is absolutely beautiful. Penny Raven, you should be the Woman of the Year in Fresno. I'll tell you, you look beautiful as usual.
Thank you.
Pleasant guest, and thank you for the information. I appreciate you coming here today.
You are welcome. Thank you, John. It's a joy to be here.
All right, Penny Raven from the Huntington Boulevard Historical Association. Glad to have her anytime on the program. She's welcome here any day. We're back tomorrow with another edition of Connect with Me. Ooh, we're talking politics. Back with more tomorrow, and we'll see you then.
When you're looking for KitchenAid innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, we'll help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified KitchenAid appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.